программы Innoprom Антон Атрашкин.
Ladies and gentlemen, and we have Anton Nadrashkin as the head of the business agenda of Innoprom 2018. Dear friends, this year we have a wonderful partner country, vibrant and dynamic Republic of Korea, a country with rich cultural traditions and very attractive culture and history. Our teams have played at the World Cup, winning over very strong competitors, and we have active cooperation in business, and we have an extensive Korean delegation which is visiting Innoprom today, which is a sign of Korean interest to our major industrial exhibition. And hereby we are starting the first business event of Innoprom. This is the key strategic session of the Russo-Korean Forum, and let me introduce the moderator of this session, the president of Korean International Trade Association, Mr. Kim Yeon-ju.
도브리젠 안녕하십니까? 한도
Hello, dear friends. I'm delighted to welcome you to the Russo-Korean Industrial Forum. Dear Minister of Industry and Commerce, dear Mr. Mantorov, dear Deputy Minister Alexei Gruzdev, dear Deputy Minister of Energy and Energy Resources, Lee In-ho, and dear Ambassador of Korea in Russia, Woo Yoon-geun, dear friends and dear guests. I would like to thank you for inviting Korea to the largest international exhibition in Russia. Innoprom Korea is delighted to be the partner country, and Korea is delighted to participate in the key business event, which is Russo-Korean Industrial Forum. I would like to convey the greeting and the words of gratitude to you. The topic of this forum is the fourth industrial revolution. This is the topical issue for the globe, and a good example is. Good examples of this development is the VAR system and a ball with an embedded chip which was used at the World Cup. Clearly understanding the importance of the fourth industrial revolution, leading countries in the world are working out a number of measures to speed up their development. And Russia and Korea, within the framework of national and technological vision to 2035, we are actively developing high technologies on the basis of fundamental technologies which are already available. Russia has created Ethereum. Russia is well known for developing blockchain technologies, and Russia is leading in a number of areas like driverless cars, artificial intelligence, unmanned aerial vehicles, and drones. Korea, in its own turn, is promoting these technologies and is implementing these innovative technologies in industrial process like ICT, big data, databases, IoT, cloud technologies. Russia and Korea have a great potential for extending their cooperation, and Samsung Electronics has explored the feasibility of building an AI research center in Russia, and competition between different countries is getting tougher. But by using the strongest sides of our character, we can expect good synergy effect. Russia and Korea has already we have a good record of cooperation, and we work together on the rocket technologies. We work together on compressor technologies in the refrigerators, laser equipment, and periscopic operations, which was developed together by the two countries, and they are well they're well recognized all over the world. And it is expected that businessmen from both countries will come up with their experience of using innovative technologies at this forum, and we will discuss innovative ideas which could foster our cooperation. I hope that this forum will provide us with extra options to talk to each other, and we expect that exchange of experience and exchange of information will become even greater. Thank you for your attention.
개회사를 할 수 있도록 저를 소개.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for introducing me as a moderator of this session. And now I would like to give the floor to the Minister of Industry and Trade, Denis Manturov. Dear friends, together with Mr. Kim Dong-yeon and together with Mr. Lee Yun-ho and Ki Yeon-ju and together with Mr. Woo Yun-geun, we have opened the National Exhibition of Republic of Korea. And now we know about the opportunities which are provided by by Korean companies, and these opportunities indicate that we have large potential for expanding our cooperation in industrial area, and we have to tap into this potential. And this is exactly what our president is talking about, and this is what they focused on over the course of the recent meeting. Korea's investment into Russian economy is reaching the level of $1.2 billion. More than 150 large Korean companies are successfully working in a variety of areas, in a variety of sectors of the Russian market, like food sector or agricultural sector. But apart from success, which is already there, we need to focus on new areas, on new factors which will be shaping the industrial landscape in the future. And the greatest future belongs to those initiatives which relate to digital transformation. Our countries, like many other countries in the world, are trying to use potential of these technologies in order to strengthen their position in this technological race. We are well aware that Korea is currently implementing a governmental program which is called Creative Economy. This program is focused on achieving comprehensive development in the AI area, IoT, and big data technologies. From our side, we implement the industrial digitization program, which is called 4.0.RU. Within the framework of this program, we worked on digital industrial platforms, and one of these platforms is already being piloted in the aviation sector. I do believe that we can find a lot of points of contact, and there is a big number of opportunities to unite our efforts in these fields. And by doing so, we can create the Russo-Korean innovative platform. And this is what the leaders of our countries agreed on over the course of their meeting. From our perspective, that should be the key task for the Committee on Cooperation on Industrial Issues. This committee has already started to implement these principles of cooperation on a continuous basis, where we're working together in conventional, let's say, industries, and we need to use each and every opportunity to implement digital solutions, as this will create momentum for further development of localization process and building up local expertise. We are already working in the area of car building industry. Now, Hyundai Motor Studio is in negotiations with St. Petersburg Technological University, named after Peter the Great, and these negotiations are about creating a research center, Russo-Korean research center, focused on developing electric cars and electric buses. We have a similar situation in the shipbuilding industry, where we are planning to build Russo-Korean innovational centers focused on developing maritime technologies. These organizational structure can act as industrial integrators, and similar things need to be done in other sectors of machine building and in other industrial sectors. I would like to particularly focus on infrastructure and services. We have very interesting solutions like smart city, e-education or electronic education, and a number of projects in the area of enhancing power efficiency. As far as medicine is concerned, we have already signed an agreement with our Korean partners, and under this agreement we'll pilot the project of a smart hospital. And this hospital will be built on the territory of International Innovational Cluster in Skolkovo. And we are also interested in participating in research of driverless transport. Our largest corporations have already started implementing their roadmaps on maritime, land, and aerial unmanned vehicles. Taking into account the opportunities provided by the GLONASS satellite group, we have all opportunities to build the transportation system of the future. So apart from cooperation in the investment area and technological area, I believe that we should elevate our relationships in the logistics and supply area to a new level. We have a system which provides full information regarding the measures of state support, which is currently available for companies. On the basis of this information, we have built a trade platform. It was built 1 year ago. However, the number of international foreign suppliers which are registered there is over 1,000, and the number of companies from South Korea are among these companies, and the total amount of trade deals is above $500 million. So integration of this trade platform into Korean analogs of this into similar Korean platforms will elevate cooperation in procurement area between our countries to a completely new level. I suggest that representatives of different companies present here should explore all opportunities of enhancing cooperation in this area. And from our side, I believe that we can provide state support and we can provide a number of preferences. Thank you very much, dear Mr. Minister. Thank you very much for the speech. And now the floor is given to Mr. Lee In-ho, the Minister of Natural Resources and Trade of Republic of Korea. Dear friends, I'm delighted to speak here in front of you, and I am the Deputy Minister of Trade and Natural Resources, dear Mr. Manturov, dear President Kita, and dear Ambassador of Korea in Russia, Kim. Uyungen. We are delighted to participate in the Russo-Korean Forum, and we are delighted to see that this forum takes place in the industrial center of Yekaterinburg, and this forum is attended by governmental officials and a big number of experts from the two countries. I would like to sincerely thank Russian businessmen and Russian government for the hospitality which was extended to Korean participants and for the time they allocated to participate in this forum. I would like to thank Kita and Formica people for organizing this event. This year, we are celebrating 28 years since the day we established diplomatic relations between our countries. And the ties between the two countries are getting more and more extensive, especially the ties in the economic area. We have Hyundai, Samsung, LG, and these companies have been working in the Russian market for a long time. They are creating jobs, and they are making the life of Russian people more comfortable. Russian gas and Russian oil are feeding the Korean manufacturing plants. They are providing electricity and lighting to the area, to the streets in the Korean city. Despite the growing unpredictability of Korean economy, the trade between our two countries in 2017 grew by 40% year on year, and the number of visitors to our countries is over 500,000 people. However, I must say that the bilateral cooperation is not fully tapping into potential of our two countries. Russia has a population of over 140 million people. It has extensive natural deposits like gas and oil, and it has fundamental technologies on the highest possible level. Korea has achieved an economic breakthrough called the Miracle on the Han River, is developing its technological potential in the areas like light industry, ICT, heavy industry, and we have a lot of expertise in this area. So a combination of these advantages and experience which both countries possess can strengthen our cooperation. Ladies and gentlemen, Russo-Korean summit took place in June, at which both countries pledged to strengthen their bilateral cooperation looking into the future. And I would like to take this opportunity and talk about the agreements which were reached at this forum, which relate to economic development. Firstly, the agreement was to achieve quantitative and qualitative growth in investment between the two countries. To do so, we need to speed up the procedures of internal approval, and we need to start negotiating the terms of agreement, free trade agreement in the area of services and investment. That will strengthen our cooperation. And these steps will take us to the new turning point in our cooperation in the area of services, medicine, logistics, and infrastructure. I hope that the agreements which were reached in the service area will later transform into the dialogue, and we will reap the profits, and this profit will be then handed over to citizens and the companies of the two countries. Also, enhanced cooperation in the area of processing industry for the sake of strengthening our cooperation is important, because a deeply rooted tree will always stand up. Shipbuilding is another area for bilateral cooperation, and Russia and Korea are cooperating. We have the upgrade project for Zvezda shipbuilding facility, and I do hope that in future the mutually beneficial cooperation in the shipbuilding area will expand, like to building floating power stations, for example. Currently, Russian government is actively supporting the policy of modernizing its economy and expanding the capabilities of local industry, which creates new opportunities for our cooperation. I hope that we'll also cooperate in areas like building civil aircraft and cars. And this cooperation will translate into exchanging technologies and human resources. Strengthening our cooperation in the area of innovations to support the fourth industrial revolution.
based on the well-renowned basis of fundamental sciences technologies, develops as such technologies as unmanned vehicles and others. Korea is based on its potential in semiconductors and 5G, makes everything possible to develop innovation technologies which play key role in the fourth industrial revolution. We need to create a model of mutually beneficial cooperation on the basis of the benefits we have by promoting R&D together. Hopefully, Russian-Korean Innovation Center and Technical Cooperation Center should help implement and develop these technologies for SMEs and venture companies of both countries. Korea, being a partner country of Innoprom 2018 and its main topic is digital production, should give a boost to mutual cooperation in industry and innovations. Ladies and gentlemen, Russian saying says it's better to have 100 friends than 100 rubles. Russia and Korea have been a long-time neighbors. We have a dream of having a prosperous Eurasian continent, and I'm sure that our countries will be able to face the challenges and all the changes that the fourth industrial revolution involves. Hopefully, this forum will be a good platform to increase our potential and boost our cooperation. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Minister. And now, extraordinary and plenipotentiary ambassador of Uyungung, Korean ambassador to Russia. Good afternoon. Dear Minister of Industry and Trade, Denis Manturov, dear Mr. Inhu, ladies and gentlemen, it's a historic day today when representatives of the governments and businesses of both countries met here in Yekaterinburg, this cultural and industrial center, a city at the crossroads of Asia and Europe. After we established diplomatic relations, Russia and Korea have dynamically developed bilateral cooperation. But the hardest issues for us is how to take this cooperation to a new level in terms of quality and quantity. We had some great expectations, but unfortunately the potential hasn't been fully utilized. We cooperate in few areas in electronics and in car building industry. We have some joint projects, but mostly they are carried out in the western parts of Russia, and only few of them are carried out in eastern Russia. When I became ambassador, I set a goal for myself to take our bilateral cooperation to a new level of true strategic cooperation, because Russia is one of our key neighbors. As you know, last month in Moscow, a bilateral summit took place where leaders of Korea and Russia discussed different measures to strengthen our strategic partnership. As a result, they agreed to broaden the range of cooperation in science, technologies, and medicine and energy. Next steps to fulfill these to achieve these objectives will be spelled out. So here at Innoprom, the first one after the summit, the first major event after that summit, we should provide more details on more of this cooperation. Russian-Korean Industrial Forum, organized with the participation of both governments, should provide a great impetus for us so that business representatives of both countries will achieve real results in our cooperation. Thank you very much. We will have a photo opportunity. Dear Minister Denis Manturov, Deputy Minister Alexei Gruzdev, and Georgy Kalamanov, and Lin Ho, and Korean ambassador to Russia, please come to the stage for a photo. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for finding the time to participate in the forum. And now we will begin the proceedings of the Russian-Korean Forum on Cooperation. My name is Kim Yeon-jung, being the moderator. I would like to present our participants on my right-hand side. Is Alexei Rakhmanov, president of Joint Shipbuilding Company. Let's give him a round of applause. Greet our honorary guest, Vano Ik, executive vice president in marine engineering. Hung Jun Yong, senior vice president of Hondevia. Nikita Kozakov from the Russian Export Center. Pak Mifa, senior vice president of POSCO ICT. Hirijimoji from the United Engine Building Corporation. Chun Guanghe, vice president of Tucson Infrancor. At this meeting, at this session, speeches, Alexei Rakhmanov is the first one to speak. And when he concludes, after that we'll have time for discussion, and you will have a chance to share your opinion on the presentation. We have only 60 minutes to do that, so we should stay within the framework. 5 minutes per presenter is given. So, Alexei Rakhmanov, please, the floor is yours. Dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to thank the organizers of the forum for this opportunity to share our perspectives with the Korean partners to discuss hot issues. Shipbuilding in Korea is one of the key industries there, and for the global transport, it's one of the flagship industries. We have things to learn from our colleagues, and I'm sure that here at Innoprom we'll have a fruitful dialogue between Russian and Korean shipbuilders. And our trade has been going between the two countries, as has been mentioned by previous speakers. and it is slated to grow. I think it should add 6% this year. On the Russian market, over 150 Korean companies work, those who produce household equipment and those who produce ships as well. So they work with different Russian companies. They work in different geographical locations. So we discussed the opportunity of involving Korean partners for Arctic LNG 2 project. We reached agreements on the expanding Russian-Korean cooperation, and a wide range of agreements was signed. That includes MOU on the innovation platform as part of the fourth industrial revolution. And I know that it will be discussed later at Innoprom. So we also would like in our company to develop cooperation with Korea, and in St. Petersburg Economic Forum, our company signed an agreement with a Korean partner. Our cooperation has several stages. At the initial stage, we will be doing R&D together. After that, production will start, and then at production sites will be organized in Russia. And that is to achieve the goal set by our president, to have the same amount of revenues in both in the military sector and in the civil sector by 2030. And a Russian-Korean workshop on shipbuilding will take place. And John Kapak, the president of the Russian-Korean Council, will be presiding over it. So that event with the representatives of the Ministry of Industry and Trade of both countries should help build bridges between our two countries in this area of shipbuilding. You know, I was lucky to observe how Russian-Korean cooperation has been developing since 2003. I saw the heyday of automobile industry in Korea, and there are some things that really surprised me. Back in those days, when Koreans call their cars Koreans do or something else, that means that their ambition, the people have great goals in front of them, and they will be implemented for sure. And the second surprise was when I met with Hyundai Group chairman, Mr. Chung, who told me how Korea began building their ships. So he took an ancient Korean coin from his pocket with a sailboat on it, and he said, if my ancestors were able to do it, I will be able to do it as well. I think that this slogan, that we can do together more, I think that should be our slogan today at Innoprom, because together we are stronger. Thank you. Thank you very much, Alexei Rachmanov. Thank you very much for your very interesting presentation. And now we give the floor to the Executive Vice President, PSME, to Mr. Guangoik. Good afternoon. Today I would like to tell you about the strategy of the development of SME shipbuilding company during the fourth industrial revolution. I'll be talking about smart ships and smart shipbuilding yards. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Rachmanov for his interesting presentation. SME is a global leader in this SME. We one of the leaders in the world. Over the 40 years, we built over 1,200 ships. We have over 100 clients. In our shipyard, we created the first, largest gas ice-breaking class ship for LNG. and it was commissioned by Russia. So that LNG tanker is really our pride. Around the world, in shipbuilding, they see it's a breakthrough. So using ICT is a really breakthrough technology, and using other IT technologies in shipbuilding and in maritime cargo. So it can really accelerate shipbuilding activities. So we see that new trade routes are developing. We see lower oil prices, and ships are not fully loaded. So the paradigm is changing, and we want to combine shipbuilding and maritime technologies, to combine it with ICT. We run projects on smart ships using Industry 4.0 principles, and we put into practice our own projects to develop a smart ship. A smart ship cannot be developed by one shipyard with your own investments. It's possible only in cooperation with companies, those who have leading technologies, Industry 4.0 technologies. So we cooperate with global leaders such as Intel and others, so to create IoT for the ships, to develop an ecosystem, to have one-stop service and create a cluster, to have a network mechanism for navigation purposes, and also for supervisory bodies and for suppliers, so we could together create added value. So the next generation ships will have a flexible system, and they'll be managed as owners will need them. And to create that system, we use key technologies such as cloud technologies, IoT, those ICT and lever Intel. They have those technologies. So now, for navigation purposes, we have devices on board that help to do it in real time. We use cloud technologies as well. So ship owners are able to jointly control because they have accumulated information and analytics. Besides smart ships, we develop a smart shipyard using ICT, smart shipyard on the basis of IoT and big data should make it possible to greatly improve operational activities to build ships. A smart shipyard should increase greater efficiency, higher quality, and that should be improve and strengthen our status as a global leader in shipbuilding. In conclusion, I would like to note that the Industry 4.0 really comes to our area of shipbuilding and maritime shipments. So we cooperate with leading ICT companies, and this new smart ship will be easy to navigate, it will be easy to monitor, everything will be done in real time, and we'll be using the optimal modes to reduce oil consumption and to reduce levels of emissions. And also longevity, lifetime of ships will be increased. And of course, pilotless operations will become possible. We also hope to cooperate and deepen this cooperation with our colleagues in from Russian shipbuilding industry. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, dear Mr. Kwan O.A., and thank you for outlining the future of the shipbuilding industry in Korea and Russia. Thank you for the presentation. And now the floor is given to Kim Jun-young, the Senior Vice President of Hyundai Via. It is my pleasure to speak in front of you today, and now I'm delighted to tell you about the strategy of developing machine building industry in the light of the fourth industrial revolution. In terms of building tools, we can see that more and more investment is going into this area in order to prepare it for the fourth technological revolution. You're all aware about projects focused on automation in different manufacturing facilities where robots are working together with human beings in order to enhance productivity up to the maximum level. We have engineers which develop the software and which then implement the software program. So we are working along in the areas which are outlined by our engineers, and when there is a problem at the manufacturing line, an engineer has to detect the problem and resolve it. And after the problem may be resolved, but it may take different time. If we add IT technologies to this, like Internet of Things, big data, AI, or artificial intelligence, then we'll get a smart factory. These digital technologies help to resolve operational problems, and they bring together the components of a factory control system, and they make this system possible through ensuring data exchange in the online mode. Briefly speaking, the smart factory is a self-controlling manufacturing facility capable of finding solutions for the problems they have. Smart factory can enhance productivity to the level which is unthinkable if we take into account all previous developments. Machine builders started to get more and more interested in developments which happen in the context of the fourth industrial revolution, and they are currently focusing on informational technologies, on software and blending software together with controlling tools. And companies are improving their productivity through using 3D simulation solutions and building industrial platforms which help them to analyze the productivity and efficiency of different processes in their operations. Hyundai Via is no exception to this process. We are currently focusing on improving our big data technologies. And briefly, I will tell you about two major changes which happened at our facilities, like real-time monitoring. So we track production parameters, quality control parameters, and operations. We collect this data in the real-time fashion, and we process it. So those indicators which were controlled by people before are currently monitored through the Wi-Fi network, and that helps control and analyze the situation. And since it is remote, you can track these parameters everywhere in the world. Productivity enhancement. Our machines are fitted with measurement equipment and sensors which exchange data in real-time fashion. So we use different tools and different software solutions in order to come up to an optimum design. And these machines get feedback from the controlling units, and they optimize their operational mode. Now, in our company, we have more and more software designers and software engineers, and similar situation, and other machine builders are in a similar situation. Before, we were focusing on high precision machines. Now we need technology which can help machines and robots to understand the situation and its complexity and control the situation. Otherwise, we'll be pushed out of the market completely. The situation is changing also in the area of metalworking industry. In this industry, it is important to maintain high productivity because if your line stops, you suffer losses. Currently, it is impossible to predict when you can have a problem. And if you have a problem, once you have a problem, an engineer should detect it and understand the cause of this problem. Otherwise, you keep incurring both material and intangible loss. And if machines can become capable of controlling themselves in such a way that we don't have outage or we don't have downtime on our production lines, then productivity will grow and our competitive advantage will be enhanced. So those companies which can produce, which will be able to produce these machines, will become more and more competitive. And this time will come shortly. Russia is currently focusing on upgrading its out-of-date industrial base, and you're focusing on enhancing your productivity now. And Russian businessmen are looking for high technical parameters and high technical performance. And Hyundai Via is delighted to provide the best possible equipment. Russia prefers to use best technologies and best machines. And this is why we expect the demand for our smart machines to grow in the Russian market. And this creates a good opportunity for strengthening our cooperation. If we have high demand for Korean products, which is fueled by the upgrade projects which you have, we can explore the feasibility of localizing this production, which will create a new momentum for further development of Russian machine building area. Commercialization of these smart solutions can become possible, and is possible, and thus smart machines can be produced on the Russian territory. So we have a good chance for mutually beneficial cooperation. And we're looking forward to strengthening our ties and strengthened cooperation between our countries. And I believe that our participation in the Innoprom exhibition will open up a new era in our relations. Thank you very much, dear Mr. Hon. Thank you for the presentation of machine building perspectives in the context of fourth industrial revolution. And Nikita Gusakov, the managing director of the Russian Export Center, is currently having the floor. Good morning, dear participants of the Russo-Korean Forum, and I'm delighted to welcome you all to Innoprom 2018. Trade between Russia and Korea in 2017 went above $15 billion. And non-energy and non-commodity component is less than 25% if we take a look at the export from Russia. And Russian Export Agency is here to support export opportunities for the Russian suppliers. So we've got to open up other markets for them. We need to enhance the competitiveness of Russian products. Russian Export Center covers Export Agency of Russia and Roseximbank. We work almost in the same fashion as Korean Agency on Investment and Trade, and Export Agency and Roseximbank is working in the same way as KSUR and KSIM. In 2014, XR signed an agreement with KSUR regarding joint insurance or combined insurance of projects which we have in a number of countries, and in 2017 we signed a similar memorandum with KSIM. The amount of export operations which we supported went above $14 billion in 2017, within which Korea accounts for $250 million. And we imply a variety of products from microconductors, silicon products, and food. So we also cooperate with Korean companies which have localized production in Russia. One of our key customers is Samsung. We have been working together for more than 3 years, and we are supporting their trade in CIS countries. Just recently, we started our cooperation with Hyundai. This Innoprom exhibition is about Industry 4.0, a new type of industry. These industries account for a small portion in the trade between Russia and Korea, and as previous speakers pointed out, it is important to build the 9 bridges between Russia and Korea. And these 9 bridges correspond with the key industrial areas like port infrastructure, railroad infrastructure, shipbuilding. It is exactly in these areas that we expect breakthrough in cooperation between the two countries. An important component of ensuring the presence of Russian companies in the Korean market is the Center of Supporting High Technology. We are planning to open it in the city of Yunin in Korea. On the 23rd of March in 2018, we signed an agreement regarding building a Russian gallery of high technologies. That will be a B2B platform or B2B forum for establishing new ties between Russian and Korean companies, and we are mostly focusing on companies with 4.0 industry implications like medicine, VR, big data and data processing companies. And we do believe that this high-tech gallery will help Russian companies to find partners on a Korean side and will help them make an extra step towards further development of high technologies. However, our support is not only limited to high technologies. We are supporting Russian food export, for example, and last year we successfully set up an event which is called Gastronomic Week, and we presented Russian food in Korea. We're also focusing on creative industry, and this year, together with Korean participants, will have a session focused on creative industry like cartoons and a number of others, as we see that there is a big area for cooperation between Russian and Korean companies. It is important to note that we have projects which are currently underway in other countries, and these projects are implemented by Russian and Korean companies under the auspices of Russo-Korean Development Institute. One of the examples is building a synthetic liquefied fuel factory based on liquefied methane in Uzbekistan. Hyundai is a key implementer in this project. Kexim, and with support of KSU, is providing financial support. Russian Export Center has also footed part of the bill, which provided financing related to the products of our pipe manufacturers and products from cryogenic products from Cryogen Mash. This is one of the largest industrial projects in Uzbekistan, and this is based on latest technologies, which will help Uzbekistan to replace part of its oil import. Also, we have a number of projects in other areas which we implement on the territory of other countries, and these projects will be continued under the auspices of the Russo-Korean Development Institution. I wish you all a very fruitful work, new business contacts, new ideas, new ties, and we are ready to support this work. Thank you very much. Dear Mr. Gusakov, let me thank you for your presentation. And that presentation was devoted to developing cooperation between our two countries. And now I would like to give the floor to the Senior President of POSCO, Pak Mi-fa. Today, I would like to share with you the strategy which POSCO has. And POSCO is the strategy in terms of preparing to the fourth industrial revolution. Processing industry has long been the basis for developing of the economy, and it accounts for 16% of the world GDP. In the smart time, the so-called smart times, when things talk to each other and become smart on their own, Korean processing industry is stepping up and is preparing itself to the smart industry, which is capable of creating higher added value in combination with creative technology. Starting with 2015, POSCO has been actively working on a project of a smart factory. And let me briefly tell you how our company started implementing this project. Smart factory, what achievements we already have and what target do we pursue. Briefly about POSCO first. POSCO is one of the largest global steel manufacturers, and we have two large steel mills, and we work with more than 60 companies all over the world. For 8 years, POSCO has been taking the first place as the best manufacturer of steel, and the amount of steel we produce is 40 million tons a year, and this steel is enough to produce 48 million cars. So we have worked out our mid-term perspective and regarding smart factories. Building a smart factory means using the know-how and the experience we have and combining this know-how with the capabilities of ICT technologies. And we would like to enhance our competitiveness by doing so. In key business areas like construction, metallurgy, and energy sectors, POSCO is planning to support and promote smart projects, like smart city, smart building, smart energy, and smart factory. On the basis of these smart platforms, we can implement smart sensing, like online data collection mode with the help of the Internet of Things. We have acquired 3 main technological components, like smart sensing is one of them. Smart sensing is about collecting data in the real-time mode with the help of the IoT. And smart analysis, it's based on big data analysis and prediction, and smart control is implementing best available practices based on artificial intelligence. And in order to promote our smart factory project, we have implemented a pilot in one of our factories, and currently this factory has a number of targets in terms of quality and production rate, and that project was successfully completed. And after that, we are planning to replicate the same experience at other manufacturing facilities to see higher revenues and higher productivity. Smart Factory of POSCO is the first platform for continuously operating platform, which collects data in real-time fashion and provides this data to engineers who work with big data. And this model takes into account the context of the local context. Smart Factory is like the digital brain of the factory, which combines the achievements and experience which we have at our production. POSCO has completed over 200 projects which are related to AI and big data, and by doing so, we gained a lot of experience, and we've been through a number of difficult situations, so we have enhanced our competitiveness. Like, for example, we need to ensure temperature homogeneity in our furnaces, and we're doing so through employing algorithmic and AI technologies. Now we are capable of forecasting the temperature of the molten metal, and that helps us to reduce our cost and improve productivity. So in the same fashion, we are implementing this concept in relation to other production processes, and we are ready to actively cooperate with educational institutions and other global companies, and we are ready to support our partners in organizing smart processes and implementing smart technologies. So I have briefly told you about the Smart Factory project which POSCO implemented. And the idea of this project is about building business values. For this, firstly, We need to change mentality of our workers, and we need to prepare highly professional people. We need to fully understand the value of data and the platform where this data is processed. And we need to make sure that the results of this data processing is available to all our experts. And Smart Factory is the key component of our strategy to achieve sustainable growth. And we do believe that Russia and Korea can lead the fourth industrial revolution through expanding their cooperation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Madam Hua. A few days ago, this steel company, and to make it smart, this person was appointed there to run this project. It's a very competitive project, so we give the floor to Yuri Shmodin, general designer of United Engine Building Company. So good afternoon, everybody. I congratulate you on the beginning of this forum. I would like to thank the organizers of this joint Russian-Korean forum for this opportunity to be able to speak here and present our United Engine Company and the role of Industry 4.0 in the transformation of our company. So 6 design offices, 9 production sites, 4 maintenance sites. We work throughout the full cycle, create and operate gas turbine engines. We are located from Yeisk to Omsk. We have our traditions, we have our knowledge and experience. We have single information platform, unified data transfer protocols, which make it possible for us to work on such products like for PD-14 engine, for MS-21 plane, helicopter engines. We have a joint French project for superjet planes and other projects. Today, one of the key objectives for a company is to produce more civil products and entering international markets with those products. So that's why this forum is of great importance for us. This is the market where competition is the toughest, because you need reliability, you need a competitive product, and competitiveness is increased because of new requirements, fuel efficiency, cost efficiency, the cost per hour in operations. We will certify a PD-14 engine for MS-21, so then the next engine will be certified for the regional plane Ilyushin 114. We also successfully completed development of new gas turbine engines for maritime use. We also implement digital transformation at all stages of the cycle. We develop models of sophisticated physical processes, which becomes the basis for creating a new engine. Also, the implementation of smart factory principles helps reduce costs and time of implementation of new items to be produced. In United Engine Corporation, we optimize by using digital models for a series of aviation and maritime engines. We use new production. New production is created on the principles of smart factory. We already piloted such models for all at our production sites. So following principles of Industry 4.0. So digital twins, big data in their use to perfect after-sales services. a special place in digital transformation the corporation gives to the knowledge economy. It's impossible without digital, without IoT, without the proper motivation of employees. Thank you very much for your attention, dear colleagues. We are open to cooperate with you, and hopefully the cooperation with the Korean partners will help implement digital transformation in our United Engine Building Company. Thank you for that. Thank you, Mr. Shimodin. Thanks to you, we were able to learn about the situation in your company, how you use Industry 4.0. So now we give the floor to Mr. Chugan Hee from Tucson. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm managing director of the company that produces machinery. Today, I will tell you about today's trend in Industry 4.0 in machine building and how our company is preparing to use this trend. The area of construction sees some changes. Traditionally, in this area, in the area of construction and construction equipment, machinery, digitalization level has been quite low. For that reason, according to the report of Kinshi, digitalization level in this area is second last one among 22 industries. Only fishery and hunting is less digitalized than we are. So, but we see more digitalization initiatives in our industry, thankfully. As you may be aware, we are building the first construction stages in place. So we take measurements first. For the most part, the workers take measures, but in recent times, we've been using drones for those operations and to analyze the condition and the use of machinery, of construction machinery. So that data from drones is used not only for producers, but is also used for constructors, for the designers of this machinery. Besides that, of course, those technologies are implemented, but also software called construction management solutions is also being actively implemented. This system, this solution for the client, for the general contractor and subcontractors, they have single online platform which makes it simpler for them to monitor operations, to communicate at the construction site, and the construction process is simplified and better coordinated. Producers of construction equipment and machinery like ourselves have not limited themselves to the production and sales of this equipment, but we provide different solutions. We collect and analyze data on the equipment during operations. So where that machinery is used, how it is used, and that data is collected using sensors, and so we collect that kind of data. Our company thinks that construction during the era of Industry 4.0 is connected state. That means there's an environment where all components, including workforce, materials, work plans, they're all put together, and their equipment is used in is operating in an unmanned manner to achieve maximum efficiency in the construction process. And construction equipment, excavators, all the data on that equipment is collected in a single platform, and all the owners and the users have access to that data and can use it. In such a way, information exchange maximizes the efficiency of operations, minimizes the costs and time required for the machinery to be used. In mid and long term, we'll be trying to make sure that all machinery is used automatically in an unmanned manner. In those conditions, our company strives to achieve three objectives. The first one is digitalization of the value creation chain. Second one is digitalization of construction equipment and machinery. And number three, we're looking for new projects to use these digital technologies. Just a few words about digitalization of value creation chains. In all areas, we observe digitalization, and we want to digitalize this value creation chain from beginning to end, from product development to providing services to the clients. And we plan to integrate that, so to have it all on the same server, all the information from product design and to maintenance. So we want to reduce the design time, and reduce costs. And also in construction sites, we can use smart factory technologies to automate the processes and improve its efficiency, and ensure that the process is transparent and properly supervised. So we can improve the efficiency, reduce costs. Our company, Design Infracore, is not limited to digitalization of several functions of specific operations. We want to automate everything, all operations. And from the perspective of strategy and the main course of the company, we're planning to develop our own strategy of digital transformation, and it should be reflected in our mid and long-term plans. Then digitalization of construction machinery and equipment. So at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, the main topic was pilotless cars, and many companies demonstrated technologies of unmanned cars that they could commercialize right away. It's not only in the area of driverless cars, but we also have excavators and bulldozers and other wheeled forklifts where we use those high technologies. So we and our company started to provide solutions in telematics, infonet solutions, so that the client has information on the location, on the fuel levels, on the operational mode of the equipment. And number 3, new projects using digital technologies. Our company uses our potential and tries to increase and strengthen cooperation with companies in the ICT sector, and we develop different helpful solutions. In such new areas for our company, considering the changes, as has been noted, machinery for construction, we already see some reversible processes of automation, but of course client is in the center. We should provide the services and products to our client which are of the highest quality. We should always increase the level of satisfaction of our clients. That is one of our key goals. So that's the end of my presentation, and I do hope that so this Innoprom, we will be strengthening our cooperation with Russian companies. Thank you very much for your attention. Now we have run out of time. So if there are any questions from the floor, from the audience, please raise your hands. So, and tell us who are you putting your question to make sure we have an effective discussion. Are there any questions from you on the presentations? So no questions. In that case, we are really running out of time. We come to the end of our session. We have heard presentations by our high-level guests. We agreed that we need to actively respond to the changes related to the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Also, bilateral, mutually beneficial cooperation is very important for our future. So we conclude our session at this, and I would like to thank all the participants for finding the time, and thank you all for your attention.